We've got a big patch for the jungle meta in 13.13, with OP picks like Rek'Sai and Ivern being nerfed, while Lee Sin is seeing a buff. Static Shiv on AP champs is going to be significantly nerfed as well. With the help of our challenger players and analyzing the most recent data, we are set to bring you guys a complete update on the solo queue meta for every single role. And just before we get started, if you guys want to improve fast and get the rank you've always wanted, then go to SkillCapped.com. Stop wasting your time grinding thousands of games only to see no progress. With SkillCapped, you'll uncover the secrets to climbing ranks fast that only take a few minutes to learn and can be immediately applied in your next game. The best part is, it's completely risk-free to try, as you're kept safe with our rank up insurance. If you don't significantly improve while actively using SkillCapped, then you get your money back, no questions asked. So what are you waiting for? Get the rank you've always wanted by clicking the link in the description below. Alright, let's start things off by having a look at those Static Shiv nerfs. The AP ratio on Static Shiv is being reduced, going from 50 to 30%. Minion AP ratio is going to be completely removed. It looks like there's also going to be a tweak to where dashes like LeBlanc W do not generate energized stacks as fast now. This should pretty well kill Static Shiv on LeBlanc, or at the very least, make it suboptimal. Kai'Sa's hybrid build of Static into Nashers will also become weaker. Zoe likely drops Static completely now as well. ADCs like Sivir, Zeri, Quinn, and Vayne are still going to be great with Static Shiv. The nerfs are solely targeting AP champs with the item, so that's important to be aware of. Some Essence Reaver changes will be issued this patch, with its base AD ratio going from 100 to 130%. Bonus AD ratio is down from 40 to 25%. Riot has these changes listed as adjustments, so from that, we can assume Essence Reaver is becoming stronger early on, but weaker the more bonus AD you're able to pick up. With Riot delaying the Trinity Force nerfs until next patch, it's likely Essence Reaver continues to remain on the back burner for the time being. This change was supposed to go live last patch, but Riot ended up delaying it last minute, so it's back for 13.13. Samira and Katarina will no longer continue dealing damage with their ultimates after the untargetability from Duskblade procs. This very likely kills Duskblade on Samira, and we should see her go back to build the Collector into Infinity Edge as her 2-item core. Duskblade really wasn't being played at all on Katarina, so it's a pretty negligible change for her. Stormrazor is seeing a pretty massive adjustment this patch to where the early game damage is up, but the scaling damage is down. Flat damage on the Energized proc is going from 15 to 90. AD ratio, however, is being lowered from 60 to 25%. So this is going to be a buff for when you first pick up the item. One item spike of Stormrazor will be getting stronger, however, the late game damage of Storm is going to be down. Since Storm is being rushed on the majority of ADCs who purchase the item, this is going to be a pretty positive change for most champs. Top lane Varus has been on the rise in recent patches, so Riot will be nerfing his AP build that is providing him a lot of strength. W on hit AP ratio is being increased from 30 to 35%. However, the W detonation ratio is being reduced from 2.5 to 1.5% per 100 AP. This is definitely a net nerf because you're not playing AP Varus for his consistent DPS power, you're playing him for his ability to one-shot with empowered W. As a very situational counter pick, the champion will remain strong, but other than that, we don't see Varus being a high priority top lane pick, and he will be placed in the B tier. Varus is the only top lane change for this patch, so let's move on to having a look at the complete tier list. It was originally looking like the top lane meta may have been on the move for 13.13, but at the time of making this video, it seems as if Riot has scrapped the Ghost and Trinity Force nerfs. That being said, there's really nothing major going on for top lane this patch. OP tier will stay the same as it has been for the past while now, with Jax and Malphite a cut above everyone else. Our top 3 low elo recommendations to climb the fastest are Malphite, Mundo, and Garen. Highest on the ban list for top lane include Fiora, Jax, and Malphite. Jungle is where the bulk of 13.13 lies, as we'll start off by having a look at the Lee Sin changes. Q1 and Q2 base damage are being increased, going from 55 scaling to 155 up to 65 scaling to 165. The bonus AD ratio on both charges is up too, from 110 to 115%. Lee has definitely been on the weaker side over the past few patches, so these buffs will allow him to move up, going from B into A tier. Some Ivern nerfs are on the way, as his W on hit base damage is being lowered from 30 scaling to 60 to 20 scaling to 50. W on hit AP ratio is being reduced as well from 30 to 20%. This will definitely hurt top lane Ivern more so than jungle Ivern, as top lane was building very offensively, stacking a ton of AP, so the W ratio going down doesn't have as much of an effect as on support build Ivern. Changes that will definitely hurt Ivern jungle, though, are the nerfs to Daisy. Slam-based damage is being reduced from 40 scaling to 80 to 20 scaling to 60. Daisy movement speed is down as well from 440 to 430. All things considered, we can't see these changes completely removing Ivern from meta, but he won't be an OP pick anymore as we're moving him down into S tier. Riot is targeting Kindred with a few base stat nerfs this patch as her base armor is going from 29 to 26. Base health is being reduced as well from 610 to 580. For a champ who's reliant on being proactive early on, looking to secure marks, these nerfs are going to be impactful. Will they be enough to actually push Kindred out of meta though? Likely not. If Riot were to have gone through with the Trinity Force nerfs, then we'd have a different story, but we just can't see these changes dropping Kindred completely out of meta. To learn more about Kindred and see the Trinity build in action, our Challenger Jungler Skill Shot has a new full game commentary for you guys on our website. S tier is where Kindred will remain on the tier list. More base stat nerfs are lined up for 13.13, and we've got Rek'Sai who will be targeted. Base AD is being reduced from 61 to 58. Base health is down as well from 640 to 600. We just saw Kha'Zix receive a very similar -3 AD nerf last patch, and it didn't really do a whole lot in reducing his solo queue power. As a result, we can expect something similar out of these Rek'Sai nerfs. Obviously a bit harsher due to the health nerf as well, but likely not enough to move the needle in regards to Rek'Sai's strength in meta. OP tier is where Rek'Sai will remain for 13.13. More of a pro play focused nerf with this one, as Vi will be receiving 2 unique changes. Passive shield strength is being lowered, going from 13 to 10% max health. Our cooldown takes a hit as well, being increased by a whole 20 seconds at rank 1. For solo queue specifically, Vi has been a good A tier jungler in recent patches, but as a result of these nerfs, we will be dropping her down into B tier. The final jungle nerfs of the patch are being issued to Wukong, with his E monster damage being reduced from 120 to 100%. Wukong jungle has been very mediocre for solo queue as of recent, so with these nerfs, he's going to be nothing more than an average B tier pick. So with all the jungle changes out of the way, let's move on to having a look at the tier list. Rek'Sai will remain on top of the jungle meta, joined by Evelynn and Jarvan in the OP tier. One other champ worth noting who will be receiving some jungle buffs this patch is Rell. She's a super niche pick at the moment, but her Q monster damage and E base damage are going up this patch, so her clear will be bolstered significantly. Due to Rell jungle's super low sample size in solo queue, it's hard to get an accurate read on how powerful she actually is, so we will be placing her in the B tier for 13.13. If the changes end up quite impactful, then we are definitely open to moving Rell up for our mid-patch update tier list. The best low elo carries for jungle we recommend you spam include Rammus, Vi, and Nocturne. Evelynn, Rengar, and Rek'Sai are a few of the most ban-worthy junglers of the patch. It's been a long time coming, but we finally got some Annie nerfs penciled in for 13.13. Q base damage is going to be reduced by 10 at all ranks, while Q AP ratio is going down from 80 to 75%. Not a massive change that is going to completely take Annie out of meta, but we'll be removing her from the OP tier and placing her in S. Those sneak attack ult plays with Neeko while disguised as a minion are going to be a little more difficult to pull off moving forward. Riot will be nerfing Neeko R so that it now breaks disguise 0.5 seconds after use. This clip does a really good job at showcasing just how broken this was before, as Caps was able to charge his ult while disguised as a minion, and Niski had no time to react to it. 0.5 seconds is still a very short time frame to react to, but if you're expecting it, you will be able to flash away more consistently now. Q cooldown is seeing a nerf as well, going from 7 flat to 9 scaling to 7 seconds. W on hit base damage is being reduced from 50 scaling to 170 to 40 scaling to 180. With just how broken Neeko has been in recent patches, we don't expect the nerfs to bring her relative power level down all that much. Neeko will be more in line with a few other mid lane champs now, so we'll be leaving her in the OP tier and moving a few champs up to join her. So just those 2 changes hitting mid lane for 13.13, so let's move on to looking at the tier list. OP tier will be comprised of Neeko alongside Talon and Pantheon. Role is actually pretty balanced at the moment, as other than Neeko, there isn't anyone that stands out as being excessively powerful. Orianna and Ryze are finally back in pretty good spots due to their buffs from last patch. Azir is not a trash solo queue pick for once in a blue moon. Just lots of great options to choose from right now in the mid lane. The top 3 low elo mid laners to climb the fastest are Malzahar, Aurelion Sol, and Annie. Zed, Neeko, and Fizz are who we have as the highest priority mid lane bans. We got a couple of Aphelios nerfs lined up for this patch, with his Gravitum slow duration being lowered from 3.5 to 2.5 seconds. Severum attack healing is going down from 2.5 scaling to 9% to 2 scaling to 7%. Severum ability healing is being reduced as well, going from 8.33 scaling to 30% to 5 scaling to 17.75%. Aphelios has already been one of the weaker solo queue ADCs in recent patches, and with these nerfs, we'll be dropping him even further down the tier list from B into C tier. A Aphelios is the only champion change for ADC this patch, so let's have a look at the complete tier list. OP tier will consist of Samira, Ashe, and Misfortune. Trinity Force and Lethality ADCs are going to remain the top picks for 13.13. With those Stormrazor changes this patch, the best crit ADC that you can play will be Jhin. Definitely be looking to stay away from picks like Zeri, Kalista, and Aphelios if you are serious about climbing right now. Especially Zeri now that her Bruiser build is no longer viable. Our top 3 low elo recommendations for ADC are Twitch, Misfortune, and Ashe. Samira, Draven, and Ezreal are who we have highest on the ban list. The one and only support change for this patch is Rel, as a bunch of her abilities are being altered. Base stats are nerfed with her health regen reduced from 1.7 to 1.5. Magic resist is going from 32 to 30, and magic resist per level down from 2.05 to 1.85. Q change is just the damage to monster buff, so no effect on Rel's support. W dismount shield base value is being lowered from 35 scaling to 135 to 15 scaling to 110. Dismount attack speed, however, is going up from 15 scaling to 35 to 30% at all ranks. Overall, Riot is targeting the durability of Rel while buffing her offensive all-in power. Changes are definitely net nerfs, but we don't see them tipping the scales enough to remove Rel from a strong position in meta. As a result, we'll be leaving Rel in the OP tier for support. So for the support tier list, everything will look to stabilize for 13.13, with no changes heavily influencing the meta. OP tier will be comprised of Rel, Blitzcrank, and Janna. Biggest trend emerging from the recent 13.12 patch has without question been the rise of melee supports. Nautilus, Alistar, Blitz, and Rakan are all in super good spots right now, so if you've missed those aggressive playmaking supports, choosing them over enchanters is actually worthwhile once again. We would highly recommend staying away from recently nerfed enchanters, being Yuumi, Lulu, and Nami. Yuumi and Lulu were directly hit with nerfs, while Nami just isn't the same anymore now that the Lucian duo is significantly weaker. Optimal low elo support carries you should have in your champion pool include Heimerdinger, Zyra, and Blitzcrank. Nautilus, Blitz, and Rel are going to be the best value support bans of the patch. So that concludes our latest tier list update, but if you want to improve fasting at the rank you've always wanted, then go to SkillCapped.com. With premium courses for every role and skill taught by the best players, SkillCapped is the perfect platform to help take your game to the next level. Take our wave control course. While you wait for your next game to start, you can learn freezing, fast pushing, slow pushing, bouncing waves, the list goes on, all in just a few minutes to maximize your improvement rate. Or maybe you just like seeing your opponent's health go to 0. Then you'll love our trading course. We even have a skill test at the end so you can see how good you really are. Players just like you are leaving 5-star reviews and raving at how helpful they are. That's not all we offer though, as every week we release 10 brand new Smurf commentaries where a challenger player teaches you how to climb out of the exact rank you're stuck in. If you're looking for something more personal instead, then we got you covered with one-on-one coaching from our trained challenger experts. All this seemed too good to be true? Well, don't worry, we're backed by a rank up guarantee. If you don't significantly improve while actively using SkillCapped, then you get your money back, no questions asked. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description below and get the rank you've always wanted. Thanks so much for watching everyone, good luck in solo queue, and we'll see you in the next one.